Hey, it's Eric here, and this is my 63 Beetle. Super cool car. I've had it through the summer, enjoyed it. I actually bought this from a buddy of mine he's my Volkswagen guy. I bought it from his brother-in-law, but he basically built this car over the last few years, and so it's mechanically in awesome condition. The fuel gauge is not hooked up. Everything else, the idiot lights come on. Everything else works, lights and everything. I don't think the horn is working. Super good driving little Beetle. If you're looking for a daily driver, reliable, cool bug, this is the way to go right here. It's actually all original drivetrain, 1200, fully rebuilt. Still the 6-volt system. I just put a brand new battery in it. I've never walked out here and it not cranked up. I put a new battery in just because the old one was getting old, not holding a charge. But I'm sorry, it looks like the speedometer is not hooked up as well. But like I said, engine, transmission, suspension, all that, brakes, everything's been gone through over the years. It's been lowered. And it's just a really smooth driver. I wish, and this is the best I can do, of course, with the camera, but I wish you could be riding in the car with me right now for this being lowered and everything and all original. I'm telling you, it drives, I'm not exaggerating to say that it drives excellent. Pull up here and stop and show you around a little bit. E-brake works good. Now, I'm not going to be able to pop the hood in the video because it's got the two little butterfly bolts and it would take me 2 hands to do, but it runs awesome. I want you to be able to hear that. It's got these little butterfly bolts. You just turn those and pop them. I'll do it for the still photos, but of course I can't open this with that, but you can hear the engine runs awesome. Got the little, in fact, let me pull it out real quick. He texted me the whole ride up. So it says that when they got it, they were the 3rd owner, bought it from a Volkswagen dealership. They rebuilt the engine. The VW engine was rebuilt, the original 40 horsepower in the early 80s. And then the garage, the car just sat in the lady's garage. So it's got a new brake system, 4-inch narrowed beam, CB Performance 2.5-inch drop spindles, 3-inch offset rear swing plates to lower the car, reissued Porsche wheels. Those are super cool. All new cables and seals underneath, matching Firestone tires. They're about 2 years old. They have good tread on them. Complete passenger side floor pan and rear half of the driver replaced. So that's what he did with it. And body lines are on it are straight. It's got a kind of a dulled out older paint job that looks really consistent from bumper to bumper. I intentionally did not wax the car. I was actually kind of thinking about maybe sanding it just a little bit and giving it kind of a patina. But I kind of thought too, if it gets parked outside, it may fade. Of course it will fade over time. We park our cars in the garage, so this car's been parked in the garage since we've had it here. But like I said, nice straight body lines. If you're looking for a car to make look like new, I think this would also be a great car. I don't think it would need pretty much almost any body work. There's a couple little spots. There's one little spot here. I say no body work at all. There's probably 2 or 3 tiny little spots maybe. I know there's a touch of rust underneath the hood here, or the bonnet as they say. I'll open that up and show you that because I just saw it while I was detailing the car. Little tiny spot right here. See a little bit of rust there. It's the only rust that I've seen on the car. Well, whenever I do these videos, I always find little spots, and that's why I do them, so that we can do an inspection. With the bonnet open, newer gas tank was installed a while back. Fairly clean under here for a VW as far as wiring's concerned. No signs of accidents in the front. Got the original VIN plate there. Nice and clean, solid overall, like I said, straight body. So I was gonna say, if you were looking for something and you said, I wanna finish it off, I think it'd be a great candidate for that, because it's basically, aside from those few little bubbles and stuff, a rust-free car. That being said, I like them like this. I call this a driver, you know? I'm not worried about driving this and parking in the parking lot because somebody else has already dinged it up a little bit. Little spot there, just spots that's been parked in a parking lot. Somebody opened the door and hit it. It happens. There's a little paint chip. Couple little spots here. The little pea shooters have some surface rust that could probably be buffed off. The chrome on the rear bumper is nice and shiny. I'd probably give it maybe an 8 out of 10. A couple little spots that could be with a little surface rust. I think that that could be polished off. The wooden racks are in excellent condition. They look pretty new. I left that door open on purpose. And I actually really like the interior. I was a big fan. It's just a old school red velvet, kind of this crushed velvet. It's really comfortable. I'll pull it in for still photography into the shade where I can get a better view. Headliner's in pretty good shape. This is what I'd call a pretty good driver. It's tough sometimes with these because I feel like everybody's definition of what a nice driver is changes from every person you talk to. To me, I'd call this a pretty good driver. Like I said, it's got a few spots. As we walk around, continue to look at the body, there's a couple of scratches there. You can see a little tiny little spot of rust bubble right there on the bottom. Again, for me, the only thing I would personally do to this car is put a new stereo in it and drive it like it is, because I love it the way it is. I wouldn't fix those little couple rusty spots. And like I said earlier, I'd probably actually take the DA to it and give it a little bit, maybe buff it down a touch, give it a little bit more of a patina, and maybe even let it sit out and patina up. That's just me. That's the kind of the value that I see in the vehicle. But that being said, I just say that because you could spend a little bit more money and buy a car with brand new upholstery and brand new paint. And I say a little bit more money, you could spend another 10 grand, 12 grand. And to me, that's not what I'm looking for. So little tear back here. One of the things that was disappointing was with COVID and everything and short supply of stuff, they sent us a carpet kit that was not cut correctly for this vehicle. So it is unfortunately that right there. This carpet, if you just put a little more underneath it, you could kind of cover that up, but I just said I didn't want to mess with it. And it has new carpet kit in the very back as well. So this is a new carpet kit. It looks great up front. It just wasn't cut correctly, so where it's sitting like that in the back. It does sit pretty low to the ground. I mean, I would basically call it a low rider. I'm down here with the camera, but it is very solid underneath. Like he said, the pans have been done. Basically anything that was remotely rusty underneath was replaced. And he said to begin with, the car was never that rusty in the first place. It was just a matter of, finishing off the vehicle right by, doing that. Nice and clean. I'd give this front bumper maybe a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It looks pretty shiny from a distance, but when you get right up on it, it's just got the little freckles in it all the way. Part of it too, I want to be careful. I'm not trying to discourage anyone. Obviously, we want to sell the car, so I just don't like trying to oversell something. I'd rather try to be the realist and not talk it up. I feel like I've heard some guys describe a car like this, and tell you how awesome it looks and the paint and everything. And this is a cool car, don't get me wrong. It's just not perfect, but I'm also not asking the perfect price for it. Volkswagens have gone way up, especially 60, I'd say 64 and older, or 68 and older, a lot of people are saying, have gone, just the values have gone up so much. So turn signals work, headlights work, brake lights work. I believe the windshield wipers work. We can check that real quick. Wipers. Yeah. Of course, without the engine running, they're just on the 6-volt system, so with the motor running, they would go faster. But I love this car. I kind of hate to see it go, but I can't keep them all. Like I said, this has been our personal vehicle over the spring and summer, and kind of ready to send it on to the next guy. But I feel really confident, mechanically speaking, kind of like what we say here in Atlanta. You know, I'd jump in this car and drive it down to the beach in Florida, and, you know, maybe drive it down to Daytona or whatever. Wouldn't even think about it, as long as it's, you know, as long as you're a Volkswagen guy. You know, when you're on the road, you're always gonna maybe tinker with something here and there a little bit, but overall, this car is ready to roll. And the previous owner, the guy that I got it from, like I said, is my VW guy. They have actually taken this car on quite a few road trips, you know, multi-hour road trips. So fly in and drive it back if you want. I don't normally say that about a lot of vehicles, but I think you could do it with this one. Shipping's real inexpensive as well. So anyways, our website is peachtreeclassiccars.com. My cell phone number's on there, and I look forward to hearing from you.